Hi, Megan. I hope you're doing good. So, this is my final cultural reflection. I decided to do my reflection on the experience I had in San Antonio when I went to the AOTA conference. So, when we were in AOTA, of course, there was a lot of different diverse and cultural experiences there, and I had a really, really good time. But also, while I was there, ironically, there was a 11-day citywide fiesta going on, which I had no idea about and had not planned for. And it's called Fiesta San Antonio. Fiesta San Antonio, kind of a mouthful. But it is, like I said, an 11-day long celebration that started in 1891, and it's basically a giant event that is held to honor the memory of the heroes of the Alamo and the Battle of San, I'm going to say this wrong, Jacinto. They were telling me how to pronounce it, but I think I mispronounce it every time I go to say it. But I wanted to do this, number one, because it was an incredible fiesta, which I'm going to get into. But number two, I find it interesting that this is the first time I heard about this. And I'm actually from Dallas, Texas. So this was just something that was unfamiliar to me. And I called my grandma and I told her about it. And she was like, yeah, they've been doing this for years. So I think it's interesting how you can be surrounded and be around something for a couple years in your life and kind of have no idea about it. I feel like that's like pretty relevant with like a lot of just like cultural norms and like understanding cultural things. But I'm going off on a little bit of a tangent. So to bring it back to what I'm here to talk about, the Fiesta of San Antonio, as I said, it started in 1891, and it was to honor the heroes of the Alamo and the Battle of San Jacinto. It is a historic commemoration that still takes place, and it's been around for more than a century. The fiesta has grown significantly in size in San Antonio, and I think it's always held in San Antonio, and is full of like rich and diverse cultures. And it's one of the nation's like premier festivals. It has like an economic impact of like $340 million like in funds that they raise every year. And they provide services to like the citizens of San Antonio like throughout the year. And so basically what I kind of learned from it, because when we stumbled upon, it was like this giant like I'm trying to think of the word, like a setup of all these tables and booths, and they were selling like clothes and little trinkets, and there was like music going on and all this stuff. But it's actually a plethora of nonprofit organizations that set up tables and they sell all these items, but the money goes towards the nonprofits that they're there advocating for. So it is like a self-supporting organization, and part of what it is, not only to honor and remember the guys who served in the Alamo, but also it's a celebration of like the diverse heritage and cultural spirit of San Antonio, which was what some of the people were telling me about, and as residents and visitors. So they kind of like have parades, they have floats, they wear these big crazy hats, and I asked if there was sort of a symbolism in which they do that for, and it wasn't that it was symbolizing anything specific, but that it's been something that they've done for years and it's within their norm. And like the bigger the hat and the more eccentric it is, like the like more geared towards the event that it is. So I thought that was really cool. And then like just learning like more about what is this for. So some cool things I learned was that like in 1890 it started, like San Antonio was like a thriving city, and the people wanted to do something to honor like the heroes of the Alamo and like just the overall city. So a group of women decided that they wanted to have a parade, and they completely designed the parade and directed it by the women. Then they directed it, and they called it the Battle of the Flowers Parade. And so from that, it was so successful that it grew into this bigger thing. And it's been taking place like every year, even in 1918 during World War I, in 1942 and 1945. And like, you know, even 20 years later after this Battles of Flower tradition, where it was just like horse and buggies and flowers, it grew like into being something bigger. And it's this like giant 11-day tradition now. And so they, you know, now it includes food and pageantry and military and patriotic, you know, like observances, and they have exhibits, and like, you know, all the nonprofits come, and they have like even events where it's like synchronized swimming and polo matches. There was like a little kid running the music when we got there, and they have balloon races. So it's really like inclusive of like all different populations, like all different cultures. Everyone there was super, super nice. I felt like I just learned so much about something that I had been exposed to when I was younger and had no idea and no understanding of. And it was nice to get to talk with the people there who have been celebrating this for years of their life. And it's a very big, very pivotal event for them. So I was very fortunate and very thankful I got to be there. And I think in terms of like future OT and practice, I think that this event is something that is phenomenal and something that we can, as OTs, like take and bring to the table. And what I mean by that is, for Jen's class, without getting too much into it, me and 2 other girls, for our business plan, actually created like a nonprofit for individuals experiencing homelessness. And so this event is something that I could go to with my OT partners, and we could advocate for all we were trying to do for the homeless population, and, you know, making things and selling them and then getting the money back to then go better serve people. And that's what I loved most about this event, was that it was all nonprofit organizations coming together to raise funds for the causes that they have. And OT, you know, we advocate for so much. There's so many avenues, so many spectrums in which we could take what we're passionate about and bring it here, continue to advocate and continue to reach support. And it's also a good networking event to like get to know more people in order to like share the value of OT and bring it in. And also, again, like bring in that cultural aspect, like get to know more about the people and the way and like what we do as professionals, and kind of like bridge that boundary from like the cultural modules, and like breaking down some barriers that may be present. So ultimately, I thought this was an amazing kind of a gem of experience, because I didn't go there seeking it out, but it fell into my lap and I really loved every second of it. And that's all I have. Thank you.